Okay, so welcome everyone to this training session. We're going to be covering STEM, and actually it's going to be STEAM resources and language resources that the state library supports through your local library. So one of the things I always like to discuss is, where does the funding come from? And because these are not free resources, we fund these resources with $1.2 million that comes from your county library and with funds from the Institute of Museum and Library Services. The state library receives some funding, and we put it in the pot with all the other 15 counties around the state. And so it shows you that these are pretty valuable resources. We hope you use them. So one of the questions that people ask is, number one, who are these resources for? Well, these can be for your patrons, they can be for teachers, they can be for yourself and students. So there's a number of reasons, number of people who can use these resources. And you might be asking, so exactly what are these resources? Well, the resources that we're going to be looking at today are related to science, technology, engineering, and math, and language resources. And then again, one more question you might ask yourself is, why? Why do I want to look at these resources? Why don't I just go to Wikipedia or just go to the internet? Well, Wikipedia is a good place to start, but as we all know, people can go in and change things in Wikipedia. And there's also a lot of websites out there that might be published by Bob's Taxidermy Shop. So with the databases, they've been peer reviewed, they've been vetted, and they're trusted resources. And that's what libraries are known for. So the two resources we're going to be covering today are Gale in Context, related to science, and Pronunciator. So what is Gale in Context Science? It is a resource that provides contextual information on hundreds of today's most significant science topics. Science in Context showcases how scientific disciplines related to real-world issues ranging from bacteria to obesity to the weather. It integrates millions of full-text articles and includes national and global publications. There are 205 science experiments that you can print up and use for your audience, and there's 300 interactive simulations along with some multimedia and top reference content. And Science in Context is updated daily. And they offer about 600 pages on predefined topics across multiple curriculums covering biology, chemistry, earth, and the environment. Pronunciator is a personalized language resource. You can easily create a language course designed just for you, and there are over 163 languages to learn, including American Sign Language and English as a second language. And they also have just added coronavirus language course for 101 languages. It's pretty simple to use, and they have quality human voices, translations, and video. So I like to start off and highlight the things that are super important if there's anything you take away from this. And it's NFL, and it doesn't stand for football. It stands for navigation, full text, and location. And with navigation, what I mean by that is that how do you move around within that resources? How do you print a resource? How do you search for an article? How do you get to an advanced search? That's what navigation means. As far as full text, you need to make sure you select the full text limiter and how to eliminate abstracts from your searches, because yes, you might have a full text abstract, but that abstract may not be what you want. You want the whole enchilada. You want that full article, not just a couple of paragraphs. And then finally, location, location, location. Where do you go to access this resource on your library's website? Do you even know where your library is and how to find them online? So hopefully you'll take away today on how to find these resources pretty easily on your own. So the first resource we're going to look at is Science in Context. And I'm going to start with some screenshots, and then we're going to jump into a live demonstration of the resource. So what I want to point out at the top you'll see highlighted in yellow on the left-hand side is a search box. It looks very much like a basic Google search box, and you can do a simple search. Below that is an advanced search, and we'll delve into that and show you how you can limit your access to all the articles that are out there. In the center, they have a scrolling carousel of pre-selected topics. And you notice as you browse down, they have other topics that they've predefined. So they have biographies, biology, chemistry, and a number of other ones. And then over on the side, I'm going to go and click. You can barely see it. It's cut off. So I'm going to go to the next slide where there's like a little light bulb. It says browse topics on the right-hand side. We're going to take a look at that because those are tools that you can use. Hold on just one second. So to blow that up so you get a better picture of it, they have some nice little handy tools. You can browse topics, title lists, you can look at your search history, you can get links, and you can also look at notes that you've highlighted. So we're going to take a little bit of a look at that. And then if we scroll down the page even more, you'll see more predefined topics such as math and engineering and technology, physics and astronomy, and there's so many other predefined topics that they've kind of curated for users. The two highlighted boxes that you see under Educator Resources are great resources to go to help you when you're using these resources or help your students or help your users. So we're going to pop into those two links to show you that where to go after this is over and how to keep on top of these resources. So we're going to jump out and I'm going to go to Phoenix Public Library. And if we go to Phoenix Public Library's webpage, this is where they have all their resources, and it's e-resources A to Z. Now, most of your libraries have these resources, whether you're in Pima County, whether you're in Yavapai County, whether you're in Apache County. As far as science and context, every public library and tribal library in Arizona has access to this resources because it's a part of that statewide package that we in the 15 counties provide. So let's scroll down. And here we are, science in context. So I'm going to click on this. And here we are in the database. So I'm going to scroll down as we saw, have predefined topics, or we can do a simple search. So let's go ahead and do a simple search and show you some really great tools that are available. I'm going to go ahead and type on atomic or search for atomic and just select enter. Before I select enter, you'll notice that they've already populated the drop-down list with possible subjects you might want to search for. But I'm just going to go ahead and do a search on atomic. And this is a basic search. So I'm going to come up here. We have lots of resources. So we have reference resources, 1,612. We have news, images. We also have some experiments. So let me go ahead and show you how, one of the things we said was limiting your search to full text documents. So I'm going to go ahead and click on full text. And you notice right now we have on academic journals, we have 24,618. I'm going to click on full text. And we now have dropped down to 23,000. So that's a good way to eliminate, first of all, just simple citations or just a reference. What I also want to point out is abstracts are great, but they are not the entire article. So what you want to do to eliminate those abstracts, we're going to go into document type. And you'll notice that, hold on, let me come down. We have 30 abstracts. Well, we don't want those in there, so you can select those to get them to limit those. So I'm just going to select all of these. Well, you get the idea. So if you want to get everything but those abstracts, you want to select these and deselect the abstracts or any advertising or anything that's not relevant. Because the last thing, again, that you want to do is get that perfect article. It looks perfect for you and you've wasted your time because it's only an abstract. So let's go ahead and do an advanced search. I'm going to click on advanced search. And it takes us to the advanced search page. One of the great tips or tools that you can use is finding all those experiments. There's 205 experiments. So I'm not going to put anything in a search term because I want to get all of the experiments that are available. So I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to click on by content type, and I'm going to select experiment. And I'm going to search. I now have access to 205 experiments. So let me go ahead and click on one for electricity to let you see what it looks like. And here we go. You have the experiment and resources that you need to conduct this experiment. Some things I want to point to, some other tools. You scroll back up. Back to this bar up here, we have a citation tool that you can use to cite this article. If you click on it, it will open up a box and you have different ways to cite this. This is especially good for students who need to cite their work. We have different formats, APA, Chicago. So that's a nice little tool. You have send to, you can send this article to someone. You can download it. You can print it. You can get a link. Now, right now we have 0 notes on this particular document. Well, I'm going to go ahead and create a note. I'm just going to highlight, and this box automatically pops up. I'm going to click yellow and just put a note 1. And I'm going to save. So I can make notes as I go along, and you see up in the right-hand corner, it shows that I have 1 note. Now, if you log out, your notes will not be saved. You can either you can sign in with your Google account or you can sign in with your Microsoft account. I personally would either download this or print it to a PDF and save it. And what's nice about Gale on Context is that when you download it, it downloads to a PDF. So down in the left-hand corner, I'm going to click on this article. And it provides a nice PDF. And it does include my notes. So you'll see that there's my highlight. And let's jump to the very end. I'm not sure if it'll, and there are my notes. So that's a good way to capture your notes if you're not necessarily wanting to share your Google Drive or your Microsoft account. So let's go back to home. I'm just going to click on Gale in Context. And now I'm just going to do another search for atomic again. And I'm going to click on full text. There's a nifty little tool that you can scroll down to. It's called the Topic Finder. And this is great for people who might be more of a visual learner. I'm going to click on the Topic Finder. And what it does, it creates a visualization of all those resources. And some people, this might be more appealing to them. So it comes in a couple of two different formats. One is this tile version, and the other is a wheel version. So depending on how you learn or how you digest your information, this might look more appealing than looking at that long list of titles. And so I'll just go ahead and click on atomic bombs. And you can keep drilling down more and more and more. I will say this, that it is not exactly, you won't get all the exact resources that you do when you don't use the topic finder. I have found that if I try to go in and I want to look for, let me scroll back up. If I wanted to go to subjects and I want to click on bombs, they've broken it down by subjects. There are a lot more subjects here than on the other, the topic finder page. So it just might be something to note that all these topics won't necessarily pop up on the tile or the wheel. So you just want to make note of that. But this is another way. There's just so many different tools. You can also limit your search by publication date and document type. Just like we did in the other one, before, you can limit, take any abstracts out of this. Now I want to go ahead and jump to the teacher resources. So let's go ahead and scroll down to the very bottom of the page. Let me just grab this and pull it all the way down. I'm sorry, I have to go back to the home page. So I'm going to click back on Gale in Context. And as we discussed, if you scroll down to the bottom of this home page, you will have a link to curriculum standards and educator resources. I'm going to click on curriculum standards. You can go up and select, let's see, state standards. And you can select Arizona. And you can select the appropriate standard. This isn't for everyone. This may not be for, that elderly patron that comes in and, this isn't going to apply to them. But if you have a teacher, this might be something of use to them. Let me go back to our home page. I'm just going to click on the Gale in Context because that will always take me to the home page. I'm going to scroll down, and here are some educator resources. And it's not just for educators. These resources are for everyone. These are for librarians. These are for your users. So if you want to go to this page, you can find all sorts of different tools. You've got some technical documents. You've got, for librarian tools, you've got all sorts of tools to use to manage this resource. And then what's nice is they have the support and product page. So I'm going to click on this. And these support tools are just for science and context. So you'll see that they have lesson plans, projects, scavenger hunts. Maybe that's something you want to print for some students who are learning from home. And then you have some printable tools. And there are videos to help you remember some of the things we're covering today. What's nice is they have a video on using that tool. We have one for the Citation Tool, and then we also have one for using this, the Gale Topic Finder. So I kind of jumped over that pretty quickly, but if you want to come back and look at how to use that tool, you can just click on the video. So there are numerous resources to help you after this session ends that you can refer back to. You go back to Gale in Context, and I'm going to go ahead and click on Gale in Context, and it'll take me back home again. So let's go ahead and jump back into the PowerPoint and talk about another resource. So hold on just 1 second. Okay, so the next resource we're going to be looking at is called Pronunciator. So what I want to point out that Pronunciator, I'm sorry, let me go back. Pronunciator is just one of many, many language programs out there. This is, again, from the Phoenix Public Library's website. You need a library card. But before I get too much further in the presentation, depending on where you're located, your library might have multiple language training opportunities. This is just one of them. There are other products out there called Mango and Rocket Languages. So your library might be providing those to you. They might not. But this resource, Pronunciator, is in most libraries in Arizona. So let me go ahead and go to the next slide. And this is a really easy navigation. You just click on that. You have an option if you speak English. Well, I want to go ahead and learn Spanish. So I'm going to go. What happens when I enter that box is I get a list of all the languages that are available. So I would select Spanish, and they have 3 different versions of Spanish: Spain, Mexico, and Latin America. So now I'm going to go to the next page. And so I'm speaking Spanish. I want to learn how to speak Spanish from Mexico, or Mexican Spanish. And this is the page that pops up. So deja vu, let's go back to Phoenix Public Library's website. So we're back to this familiar site. I'm going to scroll down, and we popped over it before, but here's Pronunciator. And what's nice, if you are a librarian, please note that you can actually break these out into separate links. So if you just have Pronunciator on your library's website, let me know and we can get you set up so you have individual links to make it a little bit easier for folks to get access to Pronunciator. And before I go too much further, I just wanted to show that for Phoenix Public Library, they also have Rocket Languages. So there are a number of tools out there. That's just a couple that Phoenix Public Library has. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into Pronunciator. And I have to use my library card number. I'm going to quickly copy that to sign in. And here we go. Now there's 2 things you can do. You can do instant access, or you can register. And what's great about registering is that you can keep track of your progress. So if you want to do that, it's something you can jump into. Oh, it didn't work. Paste. Hold on just one second. Let me type my library card number in. And if you don't have a library card, you can get one online through Phoenix Public Library if you're a resident. And I think you can pay, if you're outside of the county, you can pay $40 to get a library card. So here's the screen. This is the actual screen, and English is the default setting. And I want to, and they'll pop up this page. And what I want to point out is that they have American Sign Language, which is actually pretty awesome. I think it's one of the few language products out there that actually has sign language as an option. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Spanish. And then I have these different options that I can do. One of the things they have added is COVID essential phrases. And since I'm in the Spanish module, it'll take me directly to this page. And it's limited, but there are some phrases for all the languages. So I'm going to go back. Just wanted to point that out. So daily lessons are exactly that. They're short lessons. They're about 5 minutes long. But what's really nice about this, I'm going to go ahead and click on beginner skill level. And today's October 16th. You can do a couple of things, or maybe this could be something you could do for your your family, your students, or yourself. This is a 5-minute tutorial or audio. And what you can do is you can download this. You can download this to an MP4, excuse me, and listen to it remotely. Not, if you want to just remote this down, put it on your phone and listen to it as you're driving into work or walking, you can do that. So it's a nice little tool. What's also nice is you can speed it up. I like that function because I like to get through things pretty quick, and I like to advance that and make it go just a little bit faster. Back to the main page, we have personalized courses. You actually go through and you are asked a number of things that you're interested in, and then you can click on certain topics and it will create an actual curriculum for you. And I see we're getting close to running out of time. So what I want to do, let me just go back to the PowerPoint. I want to point out a couple of things. Well, actually, we'll be sending you the PowerPoint. And on that PowerPoint is, it's has a list of all the not all the public libraries, but library locations in some counties. But what I want to focus on is that something that we're doing right now. And that is something we call, and I'm going to go to the website. It is called, hold on, it's our free tech helpline. And what they've just done, starting October 1st, they have added Spanish tech support. So, and that link is in the PowerPoint. So you'll get that. So it's called AZ LibTap. And one of the barriers for your patrons, your students, your parents using these resources is that they need tech help to get online. And this is free. We've actually hired librarians, and you can go to this website and they can help you with computer basics. They can help you. What does mirroring my phone mean? I'm having trouble with some sort of tech issue. So we have these digital navigators, and what you can do is you can call this number or text it, and someone will call you back. You can also email someone, or you can also complete this form and someone will get back to you. It's been pretty popular. If you want to share it with a patron or if you want to share it with a family member, please do. And again, they just started offering Spanish language speakers, so it's open to them too. So I share that with, thank you, Donna, for sharing that, but it's free. And if you don't have time to help a patron or if you have a question, call them. So that's about all that I have, Donna. Again, I will send the PowerPoint out to everyone after this is over. And before we end, are there any questions that anyone has?
Thanks, Mary. I sure appreciate all that you do to help bring the information out to libraries in both community colleges, public libraries, and school libraries. We will be archiving this on our Arizona Libraries YouTube channel, and I will be emailing a follow-up email to all those who are registered with the link and a copy of the slides. And we hope that you find them valuable because there are other demos already recorded. So if you miss some of the others, you can view those. And I think there's one or two more, right, Mary? What's next?
I think we have a couple of more. Let me see. Let me look at my calendar. We have coming up, mark your calendars. So next week, let's see if we have what we have for next week. We have some database demos again on the 23rd, which are, let's see, that one is for, one second. That one's going to be for testing. So we're going to be going over Learning Express. It's a great resource if you have folks who need GED resources or learn just basic computer skills. That would be a session you might want to attend.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, everyone, and have a great weekend.
Thank you all.